in a galaxy far, far away.
Where Don brought his knee pads.
To this event where we talk about Ahsoka, who's in a galaxy far, far away. But not the galaxy we're used to that is far, far away. No, we're talking about her in a galaxy that's far, far away. That's different than the one that we're used to talking about that's far, far away.
With random big-ass statues.
Yes, with random big-ass statues.
Big ass. That's why I brought my knee pads.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean?
You get done building a deck. You come here wearing knee pads. Now we got to make jokes about it.
Yep.
In a galaxy far, far away. That's all I got for a cold open. I didn't have much.
That was good. I liked it.
Oh, thank you.
Should
we get started?
I think we should get started.
All right. Cue the music. Alright, welcome to Don't Evolve Me, the place like Ash catching Pikachu, we don't evolve. We just level up. And we're here with
Me, Mario! Also known as Don Johnson, everyone's favorite guest of honor.
I hit the cube. I hit the button before you, like right as you said wait. So, alright. What was your thought?
I just really want to say it's me, Mario, so they knew it was coming up next, but I missed it. Opportunity was destroyed.
I was trying to figure out how to make that Mario joke into the intro, but my brain wasn't connecting the dots.
I had it.
That's where I was like,
I had it right there.
Done.
It was on the tip of my tongue.
See, I don't usually think about these cold opens until 10, 15 minutes right before we start. That's when
15 minutes? You mean the 2 seconds? Hey, you ready? Let's do this.
Sometimes it's
in a galaxy far, far away. Where in the heck is he going with this guy? Because I have no clue. You're along with the ride with me, because
I was trying to pretend I'm Thrawn, but I don't know if I can do Thrawn voice.
Yeah, because you kind of talk like this, and it's really weird.
He talks with a weird accent, but he's so he's so serious with it, but it's there's nuance behind it.
Yeah, I can't do it either.
Lars Mikkelsen's great. His voice is just perfect for Thrawn.
I can talk like that one girl, the apprentice.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. Any moment now. Or is this the bit? You just don't talk?
That's the bit. You seen her? The evil one. We're not talking about Sabine. The random ass Jedi.
Pretend the Force push you, and then you flinch hardcore.
Oh yeah, hardcore.
Or this is where I go, come with me, and then you just blank stare at me, walk away.
Yeah, exactly. Gets abandoned, and she's like, clutch.
All right, let's get into it. Show me your wares. You stole my hat.
No, I did steal your hat.
Outfit.
I'll take it. But I got the 007 Squirtle Squad socks on.
Oh, nice.
That fits with my new pin I have sitting up in my car. I bought a little, actually, my friend Jesse gave me a little Squirtle Squad pin.
Nice.
And it's tight. And
you showed me the snap of it. I thought you were showing me the snap of the dinosaur because it was in the center of the shot. And I was like, that's cool. You got to get the Squirtle Squad, though.
The dinosaur one was good, too, actually, as I think about it. But the Squirtle Squad's the one I got. Yeah. Squirtle Squad. Everybody loves Squirtle Squad.
Yeah,
Squirtle Squad. 007 too, man. You can't it's the greatest squad ever.
I got I'm wearing a Steelers sweatshirt because that was the only sweatshirt that didn't need to get washed.
Oh, and then I put on my Avengers hat.
That's the one that you did give me.
Pretty cool. It's green.
Great. You've gifted me plenty of hats. And that's the one that you did not get.
That's because for the longest time when I seen you when we were living together, it was a hat every day, a different hat.
Yeah, I get hat moves.
And then Jake was like, check out this rap. And he's like, dude, what's up, spaghetti? I'm sitting out here. My mom's ready. We're going to go to Betty.
I did do a rap.
I got my big teddy.
That was the last time I actually wrote a rap song was when I was living with you. All right, let's get into this. What are you nerding out on?
What am I nerding out on? Well, Suits. You ever seen it on Netflix?
No. I hear a lot of people talk about it.
Apparently, everybody says I'm Harvey.
Oh.
I don't know why.
I don't.
And I watched it, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
I can't help you.
It's like because I'm like the go-getter type style person, but also like I don't show emotions towards anything and whatnot. And I'm always like stoic when it comes to my emotions. And he's super stoic to his, but he really cares about everybody and everything.
Yeah.
But he's super stoic when it comes to his own emotions, and he can't really tell people what he really wants. It's awesome. I'm Harvey Specter.
Yeah,
and he wears suits, and he's very strong, 4-footed. If he says he wants something, he's going to go get it. Adversity causes men to break. Adversity causes some men to break, others to break records. That's Harvey Specter. If you haven't watched Suits, so good. It's fun.
Well, I actually have Suits news.
Suits news?
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Like you bought a suit, or like Suits news?
No, the show Suits.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I was like, it's perfect. You're here. I know nothing about Suits, but there's Suits news.
Interesting.
All right, what else are you nerding out on?
What else am I nerded out on? Well, there's plenty of stuff I'm nerded out about. Oh, I mean, anybody religious on your podcast? That'd be cool. I don't know if anybody's religious, but yeah.
I mean, it's probably...
I just blitzed the entire Bible in 4 days. Boom. I don't know if anybody's ever done that before or took that trip, but woo. That's a good one.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Okay.
I mean, like, am I supposed to take something from it? Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, no, I think it's really fun. I like read it.
More thoughts on it.
No, I just read. Yeah, I feel like I read it differently than most people.
Yeah.
Like everyone's like they take stuff out of it. They take this and they take certain sections, and I'm like, I'm gonna research the history of this thing and how this thing got put together and that thing and put this and put that and it gives you a whole new perspective of reading it. And then like people always pull up the certain verses out of that, and you're like, well, that's not exactly what was happening, but yeah, way to go, champion.
Yeah.
It's fun.
A lot of people like to pick and
that's usually why I don't talk too much that I'm too religious. Because people either pick and choose it, don't like it.
I am kind of like, if you believe in it, great. You know, like you believe in what you believe in. But if you're going to try to sell me your religion and for like myself, that's where it's like, nah, you're crossing.
Which is funny. That's exactly how I'm not like that kind of a person. Like Jake would never know. Like, yeah, you're not supposed to come to someone and be like, cram down the throat. It's not the idea. Yeah. Would you want anybody to do that to you? Would you want anybody to do anything? Like,
no.
You know, the golden rule, that's where it comes from, right?
Yeah.
Treat somebody exactly how you want to be treated. So, I mean, I treat everybody very, very friendly and very, very fun because, you know, that's
I
how we
like
love each other.
Religious thoughts. I would say I'm more agnostic when it comes to my views.
Yeah,
I'm like there's something out there, but I'm like, I don't really trust the human religions to like be the truth teller.
No, yeah, there's plenty of people.
There's a lot of how to explain it. There's a lot of motivations to use religion for different causes that happen other than
yeah. No, I get that. I mean, to me, anybody that's agnostic, it's better than people who are like, nah, we just live and die and go and things happen. Like, there's unexplainable stuff.
Yeah.
Explain those things to me.
Exactly. All right.
Chill out. But anyway, that'd be the other thing. What about you, dude? What are you nerding out on?
Number one thing.
Everyone's probably glad we got off that topic. They're like, thank God.
Well, I mean, like, Star Wars is very religious. Sith.
Yeah. I mean, it's very
Jedi,
and like it's got a good following too. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah. What's yours?
So rest is the number one thing I put on. My job is freaking hectic. Worked at like elementary school, dealing with behaviors all
You're
day.
nerding out on rest.
Oh, dude, I just like spaced out. So like, that's
you guys ever just nerd out on rest? Yeah, like honestly, you know, you really need to nerd out on a day. A nap, right?
Got a really nice pillow.
Did you get that nerdness of that nap and the amazing fruitfuls of the dreams that came out of it? Oh, it's amazing.
That's fair. I started Baldur's Gate 3, kind of. There's like one particular part where I'm just like, I don't know how to get past it. And I'm too lazy to like look it up, and so like every time I put it up, I try it for like 10 minutes and I stop.
Yeah, but you remember the old times where you were playing like your PlayStation 2 game, and you didn't know how to do anything,
and then you looked it up,
and we had to figure it the f out,
or you had to wait to go to GameStop and then read it through the little games.
Yeah, you actually had to buy a magazine to tell you how to play it and beat the level, and you're like, oh.
Now it's just Google and it answers it for you.
I mean, I was always second player. I never got to play. This is my brother and my sister, and then I was lucky to grab a controller for 5 minutes. It was awesome.
Bitches, man.
Yeah, snitches. They're awesome. They're awesome. Right, they're doing good. Anyway, what else you got?
Let's go Eevee. I've been playing it with my stepson, Scott. because you can do 2-player, and he's playing his own. He was super happy when he caught his first Pikachu, because that's his favorite Pokemon. Like, there's little, like, joy of, Pikachu!
Yeah, you caught a rat. So proud of you.
Yeah, it's a kid's first, like, Pokemon, like, memorable
Yeah, you got to
experience.
teach your stepson something cooler, like, see that? That's a Charmander. That turns into a Charizard.
Hey, Maven
You catch that thing.
Maven has Charmander.
You see that little crawling tiger striped dog? Yeah. That thing turns into an Arcanine. Get that.
Well, I mean,
It's a legendary.
He's still working his way there, but Pikachu is, I mean, like, it's his favorite because he's watched the anime and he's like, Pikachu's awesome. I really like the joke where, the TikTok joke where, like, what does your favorite Pokemon say about you? And the first one's Pikachu. Is like, all right, you have a little bit of main character syndrome and you gotta calm down there, Zippy. And I'm just like, that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's totally
100%. Yep. That sounds like Scott.
Monopoly Go, the phone game. It is literally just a dopamine machine, and I don't know why I'm into it. I'm like, I don't even know what I like earn. I don't know how I earn it, but it's just a dopamine machine. So I've been nerding out on that. And then One Piece. I just did the One Piece episode that comes out. By the time this episode comes out, One Piece would be.
I wonder why you nerd out on naps. You got so much nerding out things. I mean, I guess I've been outside. I'm nerding out on my about-to-be depression, I guess you can say that.
Prepping for the winter depression.
Prepping for the winter depression, so I'm trying to, like, squeeze everything into, like, a week.
That makes sense. It's coming. Winter is coming.
I have a trip planned to Australia, but we'll see if I can even make it now, because the flights are too full.
Oh.
So I'm trying to fly out on Wednesday, and if I don't make it out, I guess I got 10 days off to enjoy.
All right.
Try to enjoy the warm weather while I can. That's the idea.
All right, let's get into a news quickie. It's time for a news quickie. Oh, yeah. All right, let's get into it. You ever watch Spy Family? Or I like to call it Spy Times Family, because that's how it's, like, written.
I have no idea what the heck you're talking about.
It is an anime from a recent manga. I watched it over my hospital stay in May. But season 2 is out, and it's good, apparently. Loki, season 2, episode 1.
Haven't seen it yet. Don't talk about it.
I hear it's mediocre of the first 4 episodes.
Okay.
Disappointing. At least like that review. I have to watch it too.
We'll see. Oh, you haven't watched it. Okay, yeah.
Gen V from The Boys. I watched half an episode so far. But 4 episodes is out so far. I do plan on watching it and covering them.
Wait, The Boys?
The Boys.
The Boys have more?
Yeah, and it's actually really good. It's a cult.
Shoot, why wasn't I made aware?
Yeah, it kind of just sprung up. I knew about it. I knew it was coming out. And I ended up falling asleep because I was just tired. It was 11 o'clock. My wife actually stayed up.
Remember, he nerded about napping.
And my friend Brandon was watching with me too.
Shoot, that sounds exciting. I'm going to go home and watch that now. That's what I'm going to do
I
next.
remember waking up and both of them being like, damn. And I'm like, well, that sucks. I wish I was awake for the first episode. All right. Fantastic Four is filming next year. Yay.
Woo! Writer strike still. Yay.
Writer strike's over. Actor strike's still here. Yeah.
Is it over?
Yeah, writer strike's over.
Really? I missed that news.
Yeah. Let's,
Again, I
that was
don't pay
news last
attention to
week.
anything. Yowza.
So they made a 3-year deal. And for the final news, Suits breaks all-time stream record of 12 weeks of most watched show in a row.
That's because it's good. Like, how did I not know about this when it came on the TV?
I feel like it works that way.
Like, it was on TV for 9 years. And I didn't know a thing, and it came on Netflix once. And I was watching, I'm like, how did this not get more recognition?
Shows kind of just like hit that, like, what's it called? That cult following. So like it's not popular right away. Another show, I can't think of what it's called.
They have all
The Wire. The Wire wasn't a popular show.
If you work in a financial field or anywhere in like a corporate office or anything like that, or any sort of legal stuff, you're gonna love the show. Is it like so perfect where it goes super depth and detail like I do? But it's good to see like them pull that out there and use the words.
Another show like that you would really like that just ended this year is Succession.
Yeah, probably. Too many shows to watch. So many stuff to do.
There is a lot, but that one's really good. All right, that's it for the news. Should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm actually really good on time. Before 15 minutes. That's rare.
Yeah, awesome. Oh, that's first.
Wow.
Not the last.
Wow. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to work on my I can't Owen Wilson for Loki review. Whenever I do that. All right, let's get to it. Ahsoka. Let's start off with episode 6, titled "Far, Far Away."
That it is.
I really like that title. It's kind of on the nose, but I'm like, you know what? That makes sense because they're going to a different galaxy, far, far away.
Yeah, it's a good title.
All right, so episode starts. The Eye of Zion. I didn't know that was what the ship was called until I started doing the outline. Goes to Peridia. We find out that Peridia is the home world of the Dathomari. We are introduced to the Great Mothers, who are pretty scary looking, pretty vibrant.
Yeah, I mean they look like they're villains. That's for sure. They didn't not sugarcoat that at all.
Would you classify them as villains though? They seem more
witchy, witchcraft.
Yeah, witchcraft, witchy. They do like
witchcraft is villains.
Cultural stuff, but that's like also part of the culture. It seems like their goal is more survival.
No, they're like pretty villainous.
All right. So we introduce the Great Mothers. Thrawn makes his thrilling appearance, and if you don't remember his thrilling appearance, the Chimera, his ship, comes down onto the spear.
Yep.
And
first off, this is where my how did I not see that thing?
And then
it's freaking huge.
The night troopers are there. They're chanting his name, and he's just walking up, nice and slow.
Yep.
And I don't know why, but Thrawn's first appearance is just marvelous. Like that dude knows how to make an entrance.
Yeah, he does.
So what
live action appearance of Thrawn? Which is cool.
What's your thoughts on his first appearance? What was your first
my initial reaction was like, "Oh, Thrawn's here!" Like you didn't see the giant starship show up. Yeah. You just missed that. You know, it's pretty fucking big.
It just popped up.
But yeah, other than that, it was a good first appearance. Like you felt the power and the authority he had, and everybody was waiting for him. You knew, like even the witches and all that stuff. They're like, it's Thrawn.
Lars Mikkelsen. I don't know if his voice is amazing. He is the perfect voice. But I am actually really happy that they had him do the live action. And I feel like his live action stance isn't as strong as it could have been. But it gets the job done.
Yep.
Like, you just have to stand there and be menacing. And for the most part, like, he's not an A in that regard, but he's a B. But, like, this is very, like, slight stuff we're comparing.
Yeah. No, I think his entrance was good. Showed up well.
What's your thoughts on the Night Troopers and the Night Sisters? Or the Great Mothers?
The Great Mothers? I mean, they're definitely, like, menacing. It felt like... It's weird that they're just following Thrawn around for some reason. I thought that was interesting. Like, if they
never clearly explain it, but it seems like the explanation's there.
Yeah.
And we can get into it a little bit more afterwards.
They never... I mean, I get the explanation there. It makes sense, but...
I'm actually really happy that they went this route because this wasn't what I was expecting. I was just expecting like Thrawn and his I was just expecting his troops and him being out there for survival. I was expecting him and maybe Ezra even like working together, but no, he found the Great Mothers. He resurrected them, and like that's how he's been communicating with Morgan Elsbeth. And
yep.
I actually really like that lore building. Because we haven't seen a live-action version of those characters.
Oh, yeah, no, we haven't seen that. And they talk with the zombies and stuff to kind of bring that idea back. Like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes more sense to the show. The lore building there was great.
Big in Clone Wars, there was a little bit of Rebels. And now, like, we haven't really seen it in Mandalorian. We haven't really seen it in any of the live-action stuff. And here we are with Ahsoka. Thrawn is using... Dothraki ancestors, or Peridia ancestors, the Great Mothers. So I was excited.
Yeah, that was exciting. I will say that. I mean,
so Baylan Skoll, he kind of talks about his, like right after everyone shows up, he kind of talks about his purpose, right? Where he talks about the Sith and the Jedi. They kind of are circular.
I am.
You're breaking mics. All right, we're gonna take a quick break while we fix our technical difficulties. Alright, we back. You good?
Yep, technical difficulties have been...
Say that 10 times.
Technical difficulties.
I would say you made it to 4, but you screwed up on the first one too.
I nailed it.
Nailed it. Alright, so Balin's Skull. He kind of talks about his philosophy, how it was the Jedi, and then it was the Empire, the Sith, and now it's the Jedi back, and how there's a cycle, and he wants to break the cycle, which, goddamn, Balin's Skull is such an interesting character. It's such a tragedy.
Oh, man.
With Ray Stevenson.
Such a great character.
Because, like, I just want to see his character fulfill.
Like, I want to see, like, I want his goal. Like, I love his mission. His goal is everything. Like, I think,
most fans at this point are like,
I'd cheer for that guy.
Or at least, like, the deep Star Wars fans. Because I think that we all know that, like, the Jedi Order is misguided almost.
Yeah, it's questionable.
And he's going for balance. And I think everyone's coming to this, like, conclusion that no, the dark side doesn't need the rule, the light side doesn't need the rule. There needs to be a good balance of the Force, right? It should work in unison. It shouldn't just be Sith versus Jedi. It should be, they working together. You have the
but anybody can be a Sith or a Jedi. We would just prove that now.
I mean, kind of. That is part of the lore, and we'll talk about it because I have mixed thoughts when it comes to Sabine. We'll
get there.
We'll get there. We're not quite there yet. All right, so he wants to break this. Balin's Skull wants to break this Sith Jedi cycle. Wrote on here, don't we all? Sabine is in prison right away, and I wasn't necessarily expecting her being like treated as a prisoner the way she was.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Keep her safe, not destroy anything. Like you get
an interesting Thrawn, and I'm gonna smart Thrawn. That's there's so many times during this episode and like these next 3 episodes where we see Thrawn be smart, and they the writers tried their best. No, they did a great job, I'm gonna say, but it's very obvious because he's just like, yeah, let her go. We give her the stuff she needs to find Ezra.
Yeah,
with the sole purpose.
Don't give her out of there, but yeah, she'll be gone. We'll be gone by the time she finds him. We'll be out of here.
We'll see Ezra. We'll give them a surprise, and then if we kill them, cool. If not, but we're gonna let her go. We're not gonna just kill her.
Yeah, exactly. We know we're gonna get out of there.
I do really like how Thrawn is that chess player.
Yep.
He doesn't look at hey, I must get my way all the time, the way I want things. It's no, this is a game. We're gonna play the game. I'll let you go. We'll honor your promise. We will not break the promise that was made.
Yep.
But I want to use this this action to my advantage, right? I'm gonna learn. I do. Okay, my first thoughts on Thrawn. I fucking love Thrawn as a villain. Rebels, he was.
I think Thrawn's a better villain than the Jedi and the Siths and the Lords. He's such a better villain to create something bigger out of.
He's such just a great villain in the thought of he's not really evil. He's just freaking intelligent and on opposing sides, right? He's an intelligent Empire warlord. He
happens to be on the Empire side as a warlord,
and he also respects his heroes, and that's something that's fresh. It's rare. How often do we get a villain that deeply appreciates and understands?
Well, yeah, and he does it to study him too, like you saw in the show too. I'm just gonna we haven't got to the Ahsoka part coming in. I'm just gonna let her do her thing. Learn from how she does it, and watch her, and we'll find her because eventually they'll call out to each other. It's perfect.
It is. All right, so Sabine's in prison. They let her go. I wrote honorable and strategic, which is. Then she gets her steed, who is a cowardly steed, and I'm is this the best steed ever?
Yep.
Best companion. That's interesting. Who would be the best companion? I'm trying to think Star Wars companions. You're drawing a blank, aren't you?
Yeah, I can't really think of one. I actually want those little people, the guys that fix stuff. I'm blanking on their name.
The Jawas?
Not the Jawas. The little guy that's kind of man, and I'm get to it, too.
Oh, Babu Frink.
Bubble Frank, yeah.
Bad baby.
Bad baby.
I say that to my daughter all the time. Just getting the things.
Gosh, yeah.
She freaking
Bubble
knocks over
Frank.
all the cups. She's like a cat. Like nothing can stand up
Why did
straight.
I blank on that? But
Bad baby. Well, I was
They'd
thinking
be
Baba
so-
Frink, but yeah, Baba Frink is a really cool character. Or like those
yeah,
creatures are like fun.
cool. Like, yeah, it'd be fun. Companion-wise,
I
man.
was thinking like Steed though, like some like
Oh, man.
I can't think of anything other than like the Wampa that had, or not Wampa, the llama, snow llama creature. I can't think the Tauntaun. The Tauntaun.
The Tauntaun, yeah.
Yeah, from
I mean,
Empire Strikes
there's the
Back.
Tauntaun. You're talking about the one from The Mandalorian. The little, I don't even know what you want to call that. Yeah.
Mandalorian.
What are they called? I'm blanking on the names.
I forget the guy's name.
The point is, what a weird question. That's
have
what you thought
spoken.
about during that moment.
I have spoken.
Yeah, that guy's little creature.
Yeah, this is up there. But yeah, best Steed ever runs away from a fight. Bandits attack Sabine. Sabine does actually show that she knows how to use a lightsaber against people who aren't good with lightsabers.
Yep.
Like
She knows how to fight.
She's a good fighter, but
Good
she's
fighter.
not,
She doesn't know how to like sense her beings and her surroundings.
yeah, she's a good fighter, but she's not like a master class fighter. Like if
She's a Mandalorian. She better be a good fighter.
yeah, she can beat random bandits from a different galaxy.
I hope so. She's a Mandalorian. She should be incredible at it.
I mean, she's pretty good for like.
She's a Mandalorian.
She's a Mandalorian, a Jedi Mandalorian.
That's
now.
why it's like, yeah, yeah.
A Jedi Mandalorian. It's not Grogu who's going to be the Jedi Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Is it weird that we have two of them?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But I was going to say that's why, yeah. We'll get to my thoughts here when
Okay.
we get up to that point. We're not there yet. Just wait, guys.
Sabine
It gets
meets
better.
the Noti. Those are the little crab creatures.
Yep, little turtles.
Skull wants to use Perdia's power. He says there's great power here.
Yeah.
And again, it's like, we know it's not gonna happen. It's gonna be Shin. We'll get into that.
Yeah, it's Ray Stevens and stuff like that. The
But
little
yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guys, though. That's what I thought of. I was like,
didn't think of
the
that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are here.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Crabs. Hermit crabs?
They're like turtles. I don't really call them crabs.
Hermit crabs.
Sure.
That's
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's what I thought when I saw them. But anyway,
Does that make Ezra Splinter?
kind of looks like it.
A little bit.
That's exactly what I was saying. That's Master Splinter.
So,
When we first saw
Skull
Ezra.
wants to use Perdia's power, and then we'll talk more about Skull or Bale and Skull later. They tracked her down. Sabine finds the naughty village, the traveling village, and Ezra is there. What was your first initial thoughts on Ezra?
What an aloof person through all this.
Yeah,
Just chilly.
just chilly.
Almost a little too chilly for being like strapped in a whole another galaxy. And he's like, floof.
Yeah,
A little too aloof from what I would expect. I mean, maybe he's just that aloof as a character, but
but I mean, Ezra is pretty aloof.
he's pretty aloof, yeah. But
He's a character who would just chill. Like, I feel like that's what he would do. He would take...
But he just like he didn't question seeing Sabine at all. He's like, well, how did you get here? This is interesting.
Yeah.
Like, there's no like he's just like, nah, everything's chill.
I mean, if you were gone for around 8 years, I think that was the timeline.
Yep.
Is it like 8 years between Rebels last season and now Ahsoka?
Yeah. When you see you and your friends,
I
you'd be
feel like if you see your friend, you think there'd be more excitement.
yeah, there'd be excitement. There'd be some sort of something like that would be awesome.
Confusion.
Some sort of confusion and excitement. He was all
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, welcome, awesome. I've been waiting for you. I've
He
been
comes
seeing you all
across
the
as
time."
like one,
Naive.
He looks like Jesus. Speaking of the Bible and religion,
Yep.
he looks like Jesus, or what they call Space Moses. One of the
Yep.
two. If Obi-Wan is Space Jesus, he's Space Moses. He has this like nice, like this Jedi chill about him, where he reminds me of Qui-Gon Jinn.
Get out.
Not like in a
Nope.
sense of like,
Get the
you
out.
know, like that comparison.
Nope.
He's chill though.
Yeah, he's chill. He's almost too naively chill.
Yeah, but that's also Ezra as a character.
Yep.
My first initial thought was, I have such a hard time seeing the live action characters compared to like their animated counterparts, because every time I see them, I'm like somewhat disappointed. But I feel like the way I'm
Well,
disappointed,
yeah, maybe that was it too. I don't know.
like I'm disappointed because like I'm so used to them being very animated, not just like actually animated, but like in the animated series, you have to, your voice is animated, your expressions are more animate, like they're more highlighted. Yep. Whereas in live action, you can't necessarily like do that. Like I feel like the actor is doing a good job with Ezra's mannerisms, but it's not as highlighted compared to the animation.
Yeah.
So like the initial shock of like, this is the Ezra I'm used to, this is the live action Ezra, and I'm like,
that could be it too. And it's a little bit different.
Yeah, and that's how I felt with like Hera and like Sabine, especially Sabine. That one I had a hard time like adjusting to, but like once I get used to the live action, even with Sabine too, once I'm used to their live action portrayals, then I start to accept it.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I'll have my own thoughts. Maybe because the ending just. We'll get there. We're gonna get there. Just gotta keep on relaxing. I'm about to go off the handle.
I keep saying Night Sisters, but I'm pretty sure it's Great Mothers.
Yeah, the Great Mothers.
The Great Mothers. They sent Ahsoka Thrawn preps.
Yep.
And I freaking just love Thrawn because he's just like, oh, she's coming. Space whales. All right, kill them. Don't,
Yep. Minefield.
So, what would you rate this episode? If I
was rating this one, 3+.
3+. I give this one a 4. I thought this one was great. This one got me. Just Thrawn. Being Thrawn.
Yeah, the Thrawn got me. He was pretty good. Seeing the character.
And like seeing this direction, I got just the lore, all of it. I loved it. Like this, like after episode 4 and episode 5 got me really excited, and then seeing this just got me really into Ahsoka.
Yeah, the Thrawn thing was cool. It was awesome.
All right, let's get into episode 7, Dreams and Madness. First of all, I freaking love the title of this. Far, Far Away, I like. Dreams and Madness, I don't know why. I don't know if it fits the Ahsoka show, but I just love the title Dreams and Madness.
The title is cool. Wasted on that episode.
Yeah. So this episode's kind of like this episode is like almost a bridge episode. And I wanted to hesitate because I'm going to use that description again later on.
On episode 8, he will use it as a bridge episode. If you guys didn't catch that cue.
The term bridge later on. So
sure.
Hera's on trial during this episode. It starts.
Yep.
And
that one guy's a complete buffoon, and they don't realize like he's
goddamn New Republic is so incompetent. It's like nauseating.
Yeah, it's kind of sick and twisted, and they just allow it to happen too. It's like they didn't even care. They're like, they're not going to question this guy and his attitude towards anything. They're like, no, like guys, yeah, we're cool. Let's keep him there. He gets to keep his seat.
He's clearly a double agent for the Empire, right?
Yeah, dude. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, how do you not know that?
Like, he has to be like.
Just taking that out of, like, the way he was acting and everything, I was like, this
he's questioning everything. And, like, here's, like, the citizen perspective, right? News in a galaxy, it's hard to travel.
Right.
Like, you don't ever, like, think of our real world. Think about, like, our military actions. How often do we get the true story?
Yeah.
Not that often. We don't know the great details. So the ideas of, like, the Jedi and the Sith, like, they come across as myths to the average person. Rey, especially when we talk about like the sequel episodes, but she's like, Luke Skywalker, I thought he was a myth. Last Jedi, same thing. He is a myth. He is a legend.
Yep.
So there is that real idea of like purpose of there is that like there is a reason to doubt. But it just seems like this guy, like they just
like the level of doubt is a little bit insane.
Yeah, like the Sith took over the Empire. Why do you not think like they would not be back? Why would you not prep for it?
Or they knew they left in the space whale. Like, how is that not incredibly a sign of something?
Or just
they're just letting this guy be like a dinkus butt kiss, and you're like, you just allow it to happen. That's eventually they sided with her.
There was a whole like port that was New Republic ran, but it was actually a secret Empire.
Yeah, the New Republic just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
they're trash.
And then we get a cameo. C-3PO.
Yep.
Sent by Senator Leia Organa. bails out Hera.
Because, they can't replace Leia. They'll send C-3PO to say the message.
Yeah. Okay, what's your thoughts on, like, C-3PO instead of a CGI Leia or a recast version of Leia?
I think they should just recast her. It'd be fine.
I have wrote that down of a question later on afterwards. I agree, though. I generally agree that they should just kind of recast these characters. We'll get into that a little bit more later on. What's your thoughts on the C-3PO cameo and the idea that, like, Leia bailed them out? Do you think it's a cool cameo, or do you think they're overplaying their hand?
Overplaying your hand, too much fan service.
I think there's a line, and I think they're just barely over. Here's why. Because in Rebels, the animated show, Leia and Hera, like, those two work together. Plus, Hera is a major part of, like, the Rebel army. She was there at Endor. She was there.
That's true.
So, like, there is that major connection. But, like, we just haven't seen it completely.
Well, I mean, this is where I go, like, all right, if that's truly the case that Leia was there, then you got to recast her. You can't just have this kind of level of power and not recast her.
Yeah.
That's where I said,
I don't know if I would say the C-3PO is lazy, but it's one of those, like, yeah, it'd just be nice if we saw Senator Leia. Like, that would have made the...
That's when Leia should... Yeah, I mean, that would have made it better, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, I guess. I guess it wasn't like they overplayed their hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just should have had Leia there. Like, if you're going to do something like that, you got to have Leia there.
Yeah. All right, so Hera, she gets bailed out. She's not under threat of...
And that guy is just free to be cool. He can do whatever the heck he wants.
Yeah, senators, man.
Yeah,
fucking
man.
Senators.
New
Freaking
Republic.
Politicians. Obi-Wan has a right not to trust them. All right, so Martha, she asked Hera about the concern of Thrawn, which now, after all watching all these episodes, like, yeah, Thrawn's a threat. Anyway. All right, Ahsoka in the space well with Huyang jumps out of hyperspace. Immediate minefield. Thrawn being super smart.
Yep.
Super smart Thrawn. Smart Thrawn. What's your thoughts immediately, like, facing...
I was like, that's a good idea. Smart move.
Like, goddamn.
And the whales get hit, and they're like, F that, we're out.
I thought it was cool. Out. I thought it was, like, a cool, like, something's happening. They open it up. It's like, oh, damn. Thrawn's not fucking around here. And he sent TIE fighters, too.
Yep. You knew, like, they knew as soon as they got there that they found Thrawn. Oh, Thrawn's ready.
Yep. And then Elsbeth was like, yeah, she's an apprentice to Anakin Skywalker. And Thrawn's immediately, like, jaw just drops, like, well, fuck.
Yep.
Because he knows. Because Anakin Skywalker is, like, one of those renowned generals from the Clone Wars. And he's just known for his unpredictable style. And that's who she trained from. And I just like how Thrawn's just like,
I'm going to watch.
I have a match. Like, I have an opponent. I have somebody I don't know what's going to happen.
Yep.
And you can see, like, his wheels turning a little bit. Like, I got to step up my game.
Yeah, you see his wheels turn a little bit, and he's like, I got it. This is where it comes to that studying the opponent thing. And he's like,
yeah,
I am going to watch her and see how she handles this. And, eventually she's going to call out for who she's looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to see how she goes to the situation.
Yep. So she heads into the whale
graveyard. Yep.
She hides. She uses the Force. The Great Mothers are like, there's the Force being used here, and it was sent here. What are your thoughts on, like, the Force being used this way?
I mean, it's been used that way in the past, so it's not like it. Just the crazy all of a sudden that Sabine respond really well was Mary Sue-ish from someone that couldn't even move a cup and was taken away that next very moment. And
I don't know if it's Mary Sue-ish. I don't know if that's the correct term to use with the character.
Fudge?
But, like, it is very suspect that Sabine, like, in Rebels, wasn't a Force user. And this is where it kind of turns to.
Yeah.
That's next episode.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. We have a lot of thoughts because we just finished the last one. All right, so Sabine and Ezra, they're having their reunion as Sabine's not being foretold about everything. Ezra's barely asking the right questions. I think he's just happy that she's there. You know, how do you tell someone like, hey, we finally found you, but we're not going home. I don't have a way to get you home.
Hey, we know where you're at. We're screwed. And by the way, if you do go home, you got to go home with the other guy.
But also, we're not lovers like it was hinted at. We're just brother and sister. So this is even like.
Yeah, which is even weirder. That was just the weirdest.
Yeah.
I don't know where.
I don't.
They don't want to, like, are they afraid to show a male-female love relationship?
No.
Or, like, that was just a really weird twist on that. They're like,
I just like how I hated how, like, they...
Jedis can't be lovers, though, so it makes sense.
Yeah. I hated how they stated it.
Yeah, that was horrible. Not very well done.
I wish it was, like, they, like, flirted with the idea of them being lovers, and then Ezra making that choice of not...
Yeah. Anyways, that was weird. We'll just throw that out there. It was weird.
So they get attacked by night troops, bandits, and Shin.
Yep.
And before Shin attacks, Baylan Skull and Shin, they depart. Baylan just tells Shin, like, you're on a path with the Empire. They'll accept you, you'll be apprentice, but I have other goals. He abandons her. Respectfully abandons
Respectfully. Does it in a good way that makes sense.
Yeah, like, his goal isn't, like, he's not a Sith
kind of person. Yeah, he thinks Jedi-like.
He's Jedi-like. He's I think he's like the definition of the Grey Jedi.
Yeah.
I think that was his arc.
Origin.
Because the Grey Jedi is definitely like indie alt stories from Legends, Star Wars Legends. And I think that's kind of what they were going for with this character. And I
Which makes sense.
I love the concept of Grey Jedi.
Yeah, same. We're about to get into a fight, right? Like, this is the craziest thing. Like, as we go forward, because Ezra says, the Force is my ally, which we'll get to later in a second.
Yeah, so they start the fight. Sabine tries to give his lightsaber back.
And he's like, no, the Force is my ally.
I thought that was weird.
Such a weird...
It makes sense, though, because if you haven't used a weapon in 8 years and you're just used to using
the Force, but when we go a little forward, it makes no sense, because he gets freaking throttled in 2 minutes later.
No, it doesn't.
And, like, the Force doesn't help him. But this time, the Force is like...
Ahsoka shows
Jesus! It's literally like Jesus, alright? Jesus the Force. Just use your wingy. He's like, oh, that was awesome. That was pretty good, actually. I guess he didn't really need it. That's cool, but I mean, it's a weird phrase to say before you started this.
So Ahsoka shows up. She finds Baylan. And Baylan he's so respectful because he can beat her in a fight.
Yep.
It's like, god damn it. Because like, Ahsoka's a great fighter. She beat Darth Maul.
Yeah.
Who beat technically Qui-Gon Jinn. So it's like, who was Baylan Skull? And like, god damn.
Who is this guy is kind of my question. Like,
like where was he?
He's toying with her.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And she's just like, you know what, I can't beat you. You're right, I can't beat you. I'm gone. Here's what was it, dirt? She just like made a breakaway.
Yeah, she ran away.
And when she showed up, like, this is interesting and this is unexpected. But I can't have you interfere. And like as she escapes, he's not like upset. He's just like, interesting. Like
he's like, okay, good.
All right. So they eventually win the fight because Ahsoka intervenes. They win. Thrawn's like, yeah, you know what? We'll retreat. We'll see what they do. Morgan Elsbeth, she's freaking out. She's doing the classic villain. No, we must kill them now. And he's explaining himself. Ezra does the whole Force save as Shin tries to kill. They retreat. Shin's literally... They
retreat, and they leave Shin all by herself. They're like, fudge you! We out too! You're not coming with us.
It makes sense, though, because, like, she is just a mercenary.
Yep.
And I think, like, at the end of the day, was Baylan Skull wrong for this?
I think she wanted to be a Sith. Maybe she has her... Shin doesn't talk, though. We don't know her own motives either. She just sits there quietly.
No.
Barely says any words.
Like, you have to kind of, like... You get an idea of what she wants through her actions, through her, like, body language. You get an idea. You don't know.
Yeah.
Which... This show... Initially, when the show came out, I thought it was going to be a season thing. Like, I knew there was going to be more seasons, but I thought they were going to just tie it into one...
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a season thing to wrap it up into the movie.
And they didn't really wrap it up. So it's like, okay, we're going to know more about her later. But it's kind of just like, What's
Oh,
your
yeah.
deal?
They're like, yeah, dip out.
But here's the thing. I know she's not a Skywalker. Want to know how I know?
Why is that?
Because when she's abandoned and Ahsoka invites her to the light side, she doesn't go, no. Because both Luke and Anakin both did that.
Yeah.
And even like Ben Solo was like, come join the light side. And he's like, no, I'll stab you to death, Dad. Fall down a hole.
Yeah.
She's not a Skywalker. We know that.
Facts.
Facts.
Straight facts. We just know she's off her own.
I thought it was interesting that Ahsoka invited her. But I feel like that's very Ahsoka of her. Like, hey, you're abandoned. Come join us.
Yeah, they abandon you. We'll take you.
Yeah.
You're a good fighter.
She's just just stares and runs away.
Stares and runs away. Yep.
It's very edgy, very
gothic.
very gothic, very emo.
Yeah. Don't know.
But not emo like angry boy emo, good boy emo where you're gonna smash up consoles like Kylo Ren.
Yep.
It's the opposite, like stoic. I'm not gonna say a word at you, and then I'm gonna disappear.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Reunion is complete. Episode done. What's your thoughts on this episode? As a potential episode.
As a episode, I mean, there's so many open gaps that they can't close up in the last episodes that I thought.
Yeah.
It's like you have too many open areas.
I thought this episode was
They did
fun.
the Mando thing again. Here's 8 opportunities. Which one are we going to snipe down real quick?
This, I gave it a 3+. I'm like, it did its job. It's good.
Oh, I gave it a 3.
It's good. It's like close to great, but it's not the episode that's like, it's not Game of Thrones where like this is the best.
You're like, you
episode.
need to see, you need to know. I
This
kind of already had a feeling what was going to happen. Thrawn was going to leave. There's no way they're going to get to him. You knew.
You kind of knew. And
That maybe they could
it kind of set up the episode where you're like,
They have no way out. Okay, got to sneak on the ship to get out.
all right, should we get into it?
Let's get into the last episode. Are you guys ready for the thunder crack?
All right.
The great balls of thunder.
Episode 8. The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord. Out of nowhere, Elsbeth becomes a great mother. Right? That's what
Yep,
happens.
and they give her some sword.
This is called the Gift of Shadows, which has been shown before, I believe, in Clone Wars.
Yep.
Gets a cool sword, gets necromancy, and green eyes. She gets the Blade of Tolzien. That's what it's called.
Yeah,
It's been used before. It's shown in Clone Wars. One of the characters from Dathomir gets the Blade of Tolzien, fights Mace Windu. So a little tidbit of knowledge.
Yeah, good
Where
knowledge.
it's come from. I did a lot of research today. Before.
Oh, I see. It's got all the research. It's got the whole back end. See, the research is fun.
I spent like 2 hours diving into like Ahsoka lore.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, that's why you're going to try to add some flavor into this. Even though it was... We'll get there.
Some other flavors. I didn't know about this either. Huyang's ship. The ship that Ahsoka uses is actually Huyang's ship, which is why he has all those lightsabers on board.
Yeah, well, I knew
And
that.
Speaking of lightsabers, fucking Ezra builds one right away.
Yeah, Ezra, after just saying, the Force is my ally, all of a sudden gets in the ship and he starts building a lightsaber for himself. Doesn't take his old one because that thing must be trash.
Like, I think I know why he didn't take his old one. Probably because Sabine's been using it, and I think he knows Sabine's using it. And
Yeah, so he builds his own.
It's Sabine's. Like, in his mind, it's probably Sabine's, and that's why he says it. And that's a very Ezra thing to do. My problem with this is like they didn't like have a further explanation. Like Sabine wasn't there. They're like, wait, why are you building a lightsaber? I thought you didn't want one. It's like, oh, I just didn't want that one. Like, that's yours now. And that's it. Like, that simple line explains it.
Yeah, they didn't even say that though.
They didn't.
He
And
just goes and starts building his own
like,
lightsaber. Like,
you just said you didn't, like, what?
yeah, exactly. That was my thought. The Force was your ally.
Like, it makes sense when you think about it, when you know Ezra, the character. Like, this is probably his motivations. But it needs to be said.
Yeah, it needs to be said somehow.
Or at least, like, hinted at or showed. But
Or a hint that, like, yeah, I gave it to you for a reason.
Yeah, it's yours now. Or, like, even the episode before, like, the ally is my Force now, and that lightsaber is yours.
Yeah, or something small. Something easy could have been it. But anyway, Yeah, so he builds his lightsaber.
Yeah, he builds his lightsaber. I wrote weird move because I just thought it was a weird writing thing. Hewing.
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting that he just has kyber crystals like hanging about in his ship.
Yeah, Hewing just has it. Or Ezra didn't really know that Hewing was the builder of these things. He's like,
Well, that
really?
makes sense.
I mean,
like Hewing was the builder for like
Hewing's like legendary for a builder of this stuff.
for
though.
Jedis.
Yeah.
He is they like I forget the term of it because they actually defined I forget the term for it. They defined the Jedi that's not like classic Jedi. It's the Jedi who were like born during this empire.
Yep.
And where they they're essentially like wild Jedi. They learned from other means.
Yeah.
And like Luke, I forget the name of it. God, it's like it starts with a B. Boken or something like that. Bakken Jedi. That sounds about right. Bakken Jedi.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Luke Skywalker, he learned from Obi-Wan. He learned from Yoda. He learned from maybe his dad later on as a Force ghost. Ezra is one of those. Cal Kestis. No, I don't think he counts technically. But Ezra is. Sabine now technically is.
Which gives you kind of like the hint of Shin. You're like, oh, okay, that's kind of where Shin comes from.
Yeah, Shin.
Her arc is
Bakken. She learns from Baylan Skull. But yeah, Hewing just has extra kyber crystals laying around. But there is a really cool canon reference that I actually just really appreciate because Hewing, he taught all these Jedi. He knows canon, and I just like that little bit of dialogue because it connects the story. It connects Rebels.
Yep.
It connects everything together. It doesn't act on its own, and I do really appreciate that writing and that little tidbit. And when he's building his lightsaber, it's like, hey, Kanan, there was 2 of these. Kanan took the other one, and I kept this for him when he wants to rebuild his lightsaber. But this is now yours. And I like that his new lightsaber now has a Kanan reference to it.
Yeah.
Because that does feel like an Ezra thing. And that's why I like when companies take the same writers across shows, and then you have that little sense of continuity.
Yeah, the continuity crosser, which is good. Other than the weirdness of the lightsaber build. But yeah. The rest of it was great. The rest of it made sense.
Yeah.
That one line could have made it so much better. I'm surprised that no one in the room was like, you better say this, because this is weird.
Now, here's another line that I wish showed up in the first episode, because I feel like this would have made the whole season so much better. Why Ahsoka does not train Sabine. The main reason why she does not. Do you remember this line?
No.
Because this puts everything together in retrospect, right? Sabine is Mandalorian. She has family, the Wren family. They were in Rebels. Ezra's met the Rebels. He asked, like, what happened? The Siege of Mandalore, Ezra does not know about. Because it happened afterwards. After everything happened. Sabine's whole family died. That's a tidbit of information we weren't made aware. Like, when you think about it, it makes sense. Wren family, Mandalore.
Yep.
Mandalore's bombing. Oh, her family's probably dead.
Yep.
Oh, shit. It makes sense. Why does Ahsoka not want to train Sabine anymore? Oh, because she's angry. She's mad. She's upset.
Yeah, I kind of felt that, but we knew that.
If we train her, she probably uses the dark side of the Force. Same reason why she didn't want to train Grogu.
She still trained her anyway. She got over that fear.
She did. Episode 5.
Yep.
But, like, that little line, I wish would have brought before, because everything makes sense about Ahsoka now. Like, the character itself. Like, she didn't want to train Sabine. She didn't want to train Grogu. She is stiff. She's like this. Not the
stoic
same character. She's stiff. She's stoic. She's more Jedi-like than she has been before. But it's because she's had so much trauma related to her master turning to the dark side. That she questions everything.
We kind of felt that in episode 4.
And like it wasn't like that in Rebels. It was like that once after she fights Darth Vader.
Yep.
And this is the continuity of the same writer. I just freaking love like that little bit of line, that little bit of like, it could have been better explained, and I think it would have been a better show if they would have explained it episode 1.
Yeah, if they would have explained it a little bit better, I think it would be. But I got the idea of it. I got behind it. I knew no floor. I was good.
This is like prequels almost. Lore's freaking amazing when you put the pieces together.
Yep.
It's just not like well as executed as it could have been.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it could have. That's where the whole last episode.
Yeah. All right. So Sabine's angry because her family was killed by Gideon and the Empire, which a lot more connections.
Yep, connecting stuff to Mandalorian quite a bit. I was like, ooh, Mando!
Yeah. Thrawn attacks again, finds their ship, attacks with TIE fighters. Smart Thrawn is back.
Kind of. We'll get to the point where I thought it was absolutely ridiculous, but...
Smart Thrawn attacks. Sabine has to use the ship to kill them because the ship gets taken down. Ship is no longer in use. Has to be fixed so that they go using steeds. And somehow, somewhere, they found steeds immediately.
Yeah, they just existed, right? You know.
Yeah, they didn't really explain that part.
Right there.
It's like, okay.
Like the steeds were just waiting. All right, that's fair. That's fine.
Just just one scene of like them getting steeds from the Nodi.
Yep, something.
Because like that makes sense, right? Like the Nodi's there. Okay, they'll just borrow a couple of their steeds.
Yeah.
Just give me something, because like the people who pay attention are like, wait a second, where the fuck did they?
Yeah, this is where it starts to get a little bit like I don't know what you tried to put into this last little bit of scene here.
They're trying to force things.
Yeah, they way too much.
All right, they arrive at the scary tower. Dun 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 dun. And look, that shot. One, it looks weird.
They don't really arrive at the tower. They're still fighting. I guess, yeah, they arrive at the tower. Yeah,
they arrive at like the tower. It feels like the two towers, Lord of the Rings, except like the ship of Zion, the circle blocks the tower, so you can't even like see what the ship is hovering over. Yeah, you just see the ship next to a mountain. I'm like, I understand that angle, and I'm like, this is accurately how it would be from this part. But I'm like, man, I just wanted to see the great shot of the tower and the ship.
Yep. So entering this,
Smart Thrawn is like, you know what? They probably won't be able to get here, but I'm not going to doubt them because this is a Jedi, and Jedi always surprise me. So let's prepare for a ground assault. And as they arrive, and boom, bombs falling everywhere.
And they magically dodge every single one.
Magically dodge every single one. I was thinking that too. It looked cool though.
It looked really cool.
It looked amazing.
And then they're like, use the Force to get the doors open.
Yeah, this is where it gets a little unbelievable because they tell Sabine to use the Force.
And they're like, yeah, you too, Sabine, who doesn't know jack shit. Get that freaking door open. You're like, okay. And you don't know if she's even actually helping. She's just sticking out her hand like some weirdo stupid idea like that. Person's retarded.
We're supposed to be like riding the
Think
steed
about
too.
it, yeah. Riding the steed, hand out, doesn't really have force powers yet. Haven't ever seen him.
I will say.
Like, yeah, other than the one communication with Ahsoka.
Sabine getting force powers, I have mixed feelings on it.
We're not there yet. We're not even to the Mary Sue part of it.
But I'm like, the door opening scene doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that was. Why did you even write that in? You could just had Ezra and Ahsoka do it, which made sense.
Because they're just holding out their hand, and it's like that's not how the force shouldn't work that way.
Yeah,
you shouldn't just hold your hand and magic things happen. It feels like I'm watching.
Anyway, it was really weird watching her, and they really focused on Sabine in the scenes and her shaking like it's not really working. And you're like, what are we looking like? The scene is stupid. Why?
It seems forced.
Yep. Really forced, which is fine. They get inside, right?
They get inside and fight. Dun, 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 dun. It kind of feels.
And they like kick all 40 freaking.
I really like this scene because it shows Ahsoka the leader, because like they've been putting up like this type of fight, right?
Yep.
Throughout the whole Tales of the Jedi, one of the spin-off shows, where it's like 6 small mini episodes. They have a scene where she has to fight clone troopers.
Yep.
And she's getting her ass kicked, but it's like, no, you have to be prepared to fight actual humans. And then throughout the show, you see Anakin training her how to fight, and it's just a cool callback to that.
Yeah, kind of. We'll get there.
I think so.
We'll get there.
But I also just like Ahsoka's being a leader.
Ahsoka being a leader made sense, like finding an Ahsoka show. Think
Sabine blasters. It's like
Sabine, yeah. Ahsoka being a leader, and they just maul all of them down like cakewalk. It was weird.
But then necromancy happens, and necromancy is a bitch.
Yep.
That was really cool. What you think about the necromancy in this scene?
I mean, I didn't mind it, but I was still like, I don't know. The thing about the necromancy, it's too OP of power. It has been.
It has.
And it's just all right.
I really liked seeing it. Like just
seeing it was cool.
Green eyes, or just the fact that like you have troopers actually like volunteering to this. Like you understand what's going to happen, right? You're probably going to die and then get resurrected over and over again. And it's just like a cool, like honorable, like, hey, we'll take anyone who volunteers. Oh, you volunteer.
But right, let's continue with the scene because they just slaughter a crap ton of them.
Oh yeah,
like it was cakewalk.
And I will say like the Sabine fight with her now using actual force powers is a little bit of a stretch. However, what is really cool about her fighting is you see her using her blaster and her Mandalorian armor to deflect shields.
Yeah, you get to see the Mando stuff, Mando fighter in it, which is great.
And you see her using a little bit of blasters and...
But as we get to this next room, Ahsoka's like, you two go, I'll hold them back so you guys can make it on the ship.
This is where it's like a little bit too early for the dun 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 Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat! Dun, 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 dun. Like that's where
yeah, exactly.
Especially the way it's shot. First of all, it's fucking beautiful. Her and like the actual like the green blade and like the white swords, that final rematch. I enjoyed it.
Oh, that part. We're not even there yet.
That's great. Okay,
so
Sabine and Ezra, they go up into the
They
top
go
tower.
up and they fight these Beskar
the
soldiers.
They're in the Fallen Order game.
Yep.
This is what I prepared for. And they're also necromancy. Or it feels like they are, because it's...
Definitely like necromancy.
Yeah,
for sure.
They're getting like their ass
feels like
kicked.
Yeah. And this is where I go, the Force is on my side. And all of a sudden, Ezra just doesn't use a single Force thing. When he fights, he uses the light. What? I thought the Force is your ally, mate.
Yeah.
What the heck just happened?
That one is...
You can't kick anything's butt with the Force. I know that Beskar, you can still use the Force, you weirdo. He's like, oh, I forgot about Force powers and what I just did 5 freaking seconds ago.
Maybe Ezra just has ADHD and he has like object permanence.
Sure.
So he's so just like, lightsaber, I'm back, pop, 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 and just forgets that the Force.
Yeah, stupid. All right, so Sabine gets trapped up by the one.
Yep.
Ezra's kind of trapped. Magical Mary Sue Force happens, and she gets. You knew it was happening when you saw the scene. You're like, we all know this is coming. We all know what's happening. You didn't need to. All right, and they show it anyway. You're like, all right. She has Force powers. No way! Shut the front freaking door. She was able to grab the lightsaber to save her life.
Yep.
That makes sense. I'll allow that.
That one I'm like okay with.
Sure.
I don't mind the lore in her getting powers. I don't mind it.
I don't mind it at all either. I was like, that's fine. She can use it once to get the lightsaber. That actually makes sense.
I will defend the next one. I do have a defense for it.
Oh, you got a defense for it. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get the next one. But anyway, she used the Force, gets a lightsaber, like, oh my gosh, she does have the Force. She's like, amazing, I have the Force, right, Ezra? And Ezra's like, that's so cool. You're like, it's so cool. And then they start going to the next, and you're like,
yep.
Okay.
Yep, the Force push.
Now they get to the top. The Force push. I just used the Force for the first time in my life. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I'll throw you up there.
And Ezra trusts her.
Ezra's like, yep, sounds good to me. I mean...
Well, he was pretty hesitant.
He was pretty hesitant, but he's like, all right, I'm doing it. Mm-hmm. And I am like...
Here's the defense for this.
Okay.
And I do think this is a smart defense.
You know how much training?
0. However...
Yeah.
However...
No Force training.
How much training does Ezra have?
A lot.
With who? Who does he have training with to do that move with, specifically? Kanan. Who was there to witness several times?
I mean, she was there.
Probably like at least a couple dozen, right?
This girl couldn't move a teacup.
Right. I know.
Happened to gain Force powers 2 seconds ago.
She's seen it all. She knows the blueprint of how to do it, right? And
yep.
She finally has the capability of doing it. So there is a realm of believability that if she happened to get Force powers, she knows at least the idea of what to do. because she's
she'd know the idea.
The idea of her executing it, like at least that, like master, like class level of force, that's hard to believe.
Yeah.
If it was like
her class was so good, I was like,
if it was a way smaller distance, a lot more believable. Like if it was like hey, I can't do a force jump on my own, but if I had just a little bit of a push, like if Ezra's just like, hey, I just saw you do this, I need just a little bump, just a little bit of a bump, and then she was able to do it.
A little bump would have made sense, but she did a full-on freaking yeet.
She did one that, like, I don't know if like Ezra and Kanan would be believable if they did it. Like it would be a stretch.
They did a full-on crazy yeet.
I feel like Sabine being like this strong on the Force early on isn't great. Like it wasn't well executed of writing. I wouldn't say horrible, but I wouldn't say it's great. I know this is where we disagree a little bit.
It was trash.
I don't mind the idea of Sabine having Force powers. I don't, because like the idea of the lore of the Force is everybody has Force powers.
Everybody has Force powers. You got to unlock it.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, you can just unlock all of it all at once.
That's the problem, right? It's her like getting
limited. That.
Another person who unlocks their powers, which isn't great, but like Finn is another one, right? Finn unlocks his Force powers, but it's limited. He can predict what's happening. He can see.
Yeah.
His perception is a little bit higher than everybody else. But Sabine's just full
out. So all of a sudden Sabine's like,
now.
I'm a Jedi. I know absolutely how to do everything. I'm amazing. Well, check out me. I'm Mary Sue. I'm the best.
I wouldn't say Mary Sue. I understand why you would get to that character. I think Mary Sue is like, yeah, no, you're just amazing now. She still has like that learning curve.
Bitch!
But I feel like the learning curve isn't as accurate.
Ezra gets up there. Ezra yeets her up there. All of a sudden, she yeeted herself back.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's get further into it because we have time to do.
So we got Ahsoka coming up now, right?
Yep. Sabine's just like, you know what? I'm going to help my master.
Makes sense.
I'm not going to be with you, Ezra. I'm going to help my master. Which,
sure,
respectable, honorable.
And she finds her helmet again. Don't know how.
Ahsoka beats.
We didn't even talk about the helmet. Shit.
Oh yeah, the helmet.
the disappeared and appearing helmet that they show in many scenes, and you're like, she forgot it again. She has it again.
And then it disappears.
She forgot it again. She got it again. Forgot it again. She got it again.
You know what would have been a great fix?
Stop showing the gosh dang helmet if you're gonna just put it back on her head every time.
A great fix if they would have just like let her take the helmet to the other galaxy.
Yeah, that would have been a great fix too.
Yeah.
What was the point of showing it the other galaxy? She forgot it. Okay, Ahsoka could have brought it. Sure.
At least show that aspect. Maybe they did. Maybe we just
maybe. No, I don't recall. But then she lost it again in the fight with Ezra.
That was a good pickup though, because like you mentioned it before we started recording. I'm like, I didn't pick up that fact.
Yeah, and then now she's at the top, and now she puts the helmet back on. You're like, what the? Did you drop it or did you not drop it? What happened? Why is the helmet still here?
All right.
Is this helmet magical? Does it work? Is that where you got your Force powers? Is it the helmet that's the Force power, or is it you? I don't even know. I think it's the helmet.
Be interesting.
Just curious. It's probably the helmet.
Like the helmet of fate, almost. Like you get powers as soon as.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. That's why they showed the helmet so much, because I'm like, that's like the Dr. Fate helmet. But anyway, Ahsoka, they fight. That scene was cool.
Yep.
I love that fight scene.
Ellsworth dies. Well, then I also this idea of like, hey, we need you to not come with us because like I need you to distract them, and she's just like, I understand. I agree. It's such
suicidal.
It's such an interesting like idea.
She's cool with it. She's like, I got
like they're so infatuated with the cause, like the how many people who volunteered to get necromancied or resurrected. Her like, yeah, I'll stay back and fight Ahsoka.
I mean, she's somewhat questioning, but she's like, I understand.
Like, Thrawn's like this, like he's not just a warlord. Like people actually believe in him.
Yep. So which leads us to that cool fight scene.
Yep.
Which then all of a sudden they jump on the floating ship they fixed, which is cool.
Oh yeah.
But then they start shooting down, and they're like, not one stormtrooper was like, should probably hit that ship these guys are floating on, huh? Just one shot would be really, really. That's all we need.
Well,
and they're like,
to be fair, they're dead at this point, right? They're not really thinking.
Not the ones inside the ship.
Oh, inside the ship. Yeah, that makes
They're shooting down at the tower to destroy it, so they couldn't get on. And they're like, the ship though. I'm not going to hit that.
And then they had the ultimate Uno reverse card afterwards.
Yeah.
Ezra and Thrawn, they're in the galaxy. But Ahsoka and Sabine and Shin and Skull.
Well, first, let's talk about the one scene where Ezra beats up the stormtrooper and takes the costume. Like, all right.
Oh, yeah.
So we can probably show him sneaking her in so he's safe.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to, we won't even get to the end because there's more we got to talk about yet.
That's so
that doesn't make any effing sense. So you're like, okay, Ezra takes the person. Like, okay, can blend on the ship. That makes sense.
I love that. I love that little bit of a tidbit scene, though.
The stormtroopers just absolutely miss, that ship down there because that's impossible to freaking hit for some reason. Tower falls. You're like, all right, but Ahsoka's ship. Yeah, that ship. All right, it sounds good. And now at the end, Ezra's like, we get there, and all of a sudden you see the stormtrooper come out of the ship, and you're like, that's Ezra. First thought. Mm-hmm. Telling me they didn't see a spaceship leaving their ship at a random moment to get there.
Or we don't get a single scene with Ezra.
Hey, there's a ship leaving our ship with the life on it. That's fine. What?
That is a little suspicious. That little, like...
What? No!
I feel like they might do this in season 2, where they might go back. Because they have to, like, show him...
They have to show the escape. There's no way.
They should. They better. Because
they have to.
It was exciting, right? Like,
he's
Ezra... Like, we get to see live-action Ezra pretending to be
They better fix that, because if they don't, it makes no sense.
We'll see.
At all.
What's your thoughts on the reunion? Chopper knows.
Chopper knows. The reunion... They're excited, like, yay, Ezra's back, that's awesome. Yeah, it's like a party, and then Ezra doesn't
party?
Ezra didn't
get... like they were all shocked, and then, like, Hera's, like, relieved it's Ezra.
Yeah, Hera's relieved Ezra, but no one has the other feeling, like, wait a minute, if he's back, what about the other thing that we just talked about in the meeting in the courtroom? Also 30 seconds ago!
I will say,
And he comes in a stormtrooper costume, hidden in sight, so they know something bad's back, but everyone's like, no, fuck.
But not just any, like, stormtrooper, it's the night trooper outfit,
exactly.
so it's, like, different looking.
So you're thinking no one's like, oh, this is scary.
Well, I think, like, the whole purpose, like, writing-wise, is just like, hey, we just need to show where these characters are without really explaining.
You could have showed some panic, because that would make sense.
Because they did this a lot, right?
Yep.
Thrawn rides on Dathomir with the Great Mothers. Shin is with the bandits. She's found.
Yeah, we're getting there.
On the God
we're talking
Mortis.
about the Ezra thing right now. No one's freaking out. No one's like, nah. We're like, yeah, Ezra, yay.
Well, the guys, everyone in the back just seems shocked. Like,
back. Ezra, he's back. That's awesome.
And that's it.
And like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's got to be some sort of panic. I mean, that's the whole argument you guys
chill about it too.
Yeah, Ezra's chill.
Hi,
I'm back.
I'm home.
I'm home. It's like, exciting. Like, dude, you just left 2 comrades in the dust.
So you can get back home.
And you're excited to be back, and you brought the person back that you just tried to trap out. What?
Yeah.
Please.
To be fair, though, like...
So you're okay.
To be fair,
sacrificing your life to get him gone.
Yeah.
To have you come back with him with the grandmothers.
So I assume season 2 or whatever, like, is the sequel after that. And we'll talk more about, like, what the sequel's going to
explain the shit out of that, Ezra.
I feel like they're gonna explain where these characters are, and I think they're gonna explain more about the reactions. Right now, it's just set up, and that's it. It's just
and they set it up like booty. They set it up way too exciting, feely vibes, and it should have been more of like, what came back with you?
Yeah, more of a think like Avengers: Infinity War with like the music playing around. Like it's a somber it's the somber melody where it's like, hey, it's a reunion. It's the reunion everyone wanted, but it's not the reunion. Like it's not how we wanted it.
Yeah,
it's like that.
Yeah, but that's not the vibe they gave it.
No, it's more happy.
It was a happy vibe.
Yeah. This is Dave Filoni's first time like directing.
Yeah, he ended it like shit.
I agree. So let's. So and then the last thing we see though, because we talk about Thrawn's on Dathomir. Shin's with the bandits. Balin's
on the
he's on the father of the gods of Mortis, and Sabine Wren feels something, and that something is Anakin Skywalker.
Feels something, and then Ahsoka comes up and feels him and sees Anakin.
And that's where we end.
And they know, and they walk back like they're trapped there forever, and they're okay with it. Because that's
it.
That makes sense.
So
I'd do that too. I'm proud of my new life. This is fantastic.
All right, so
everything's good.
Thoughts? I already know. I kind of already know your thoughts on this finale.
A 1.
A 1?
Yep.
Okay, it's not trash.
It is completely trash.
And you're like on opposite ends here.
Because if you have a story, how it happened in the first place, and everyone's just like, yeah, it's cool. It's like, I don't care who you are.
So
that's not how that.
All right. So here's my thoughts on it.
But okay. That was kind of my thought. Like, you at least, make somebody mad and angry and upset, or like any point to make sense where people could be. Maybe they're going to have a season 2 and correct all that happiness, but you don't end it like that. You end this on a somber tone. Like, I just lost 2 comrades. I just lost. I'm coming back. Yes, I'm back. Like, there's got to be some more somber to this ending than the light-footed they gave it.
I agree.
The ending was trash. How they got there was trash. Ezra not having like, oh yeah, I'm back, and not feeling like I left to stop this guy. Trash. Happy he came back, but Thrawn's back with the grandmothers. Also trash. I mean, Thrawn had to come back. That made sense.
So here's how I think about it.
It's trash.
So here's what I think about this finale. I thought it was fine. I think, like, right now, our expectations for Ahsoka was, we didn't know how many seasons we were going to get, right? We didn't know.
Yeah.
We thought maybe 1 or 2, but they didn't know. And so I think we both were expecting, like, the season was going to kind of wrap up, right? It was going to set up a bunch of things, but it was going to wrap. And it didn't wrap the way we wanted it to.
Wrapped the way I thought it was going to happen.
The way season 1 set up was that this is going to be a longer show.
Yep.
And the finale is I feel like it's very Dave Filoni. It feels like a Rebels and Clone Wars like finale, more Rebels because it's more of a continuation. And his finale,
he wrote the story.
His finales are okay.
That's what makes no sense. Like, you wrote it. Yeah. You wrote it. But how did you not?
But this finale was written in a way where it was a bridge. It wasn't a finale. It sets up the next season.
It's like building a bridge with no concrete, and you're like, just the rebar. You're like, oh, I think you forgot a major important piece there, buddy.
So, like,
you don't need the concrete.
I think it's fine, but I think it's going to be forgettable. I think, like, when we look at Ahsoka, the TV show, or, like, this whole period, we're going to think of this season, and we're like, you know what? It was good to great, but, like, we're not going to remember the finale because it's only...
I hope not.
It's like a part 1 of a story, almost.
The whole show was... I'd say I was in the 3+, hoping to get to 4 range if they would have just played off the anger and the angst of everything happening. Mm-hmm. Now realizing, like, oh, this is how this is going down, would have made more sense, but they didn't play off that at all.
Yeah. So, you give this episode a 1. I give it a 4-.
There's a lot of people that rated it super high, and I don't see it.
But I think it's like borderline great. And not so much in the storytelling, I think just the actual visuals of everything and like the
visuals fantastic,
the character acting, like, and I think it sets up something exciting.
This had too many flaws in it. Can't have the helmet thing.
There was some writing things that was like, it was forced.
Can't have the Mary Sue thing happen. You can't have the excitement of Ezra come back and happen.
Yeah.
If this is the tone you're going for and this is what you want to set up, you got to set it up for that tone. It's like at the end of Infinity War. You set up at the end of that movie, you're like, fudge.
Yep.
This one you set up, they're like, everything could be fine.
I mean, like, okay, hold on. Let's get into it. So, season thoughts overall.
Season thoughts. After that last episode, 2+.
2+? Damn.
You murdered everything.
I'm at 4-.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, how are we? Everybody thinks it's so great and it's amazing, okay, so I'm sitting here like, it's like the Joker all over again. The Joker. It's got to make effing sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's trash.
I still think that the Joker is a 4 too.
Yeah, but it doesn't make any sense. That's not how the Joker would be.
No.
So therefore, thus equals trash.
It's not a great Joker movie. That movie's just.
It would have been a really good movie if it wasn't the Joker. Like that's the same way. This is the similar situation. Like you have everything, you have the pieces, you could do it right, you could set it up, but then you just missed your own point that you wrote years ago.
All right. So what I'm getting from you is
like, how's that even possible?
There was a lot of good stuff in this show, but it just it didn't.
Unrealistic.
It was there was parts where the writing was hard to believe. It was a hard to believe story.
The writing was hard to believe, and the story at the end was hard to believe.
And it takes you out of the reality of the show. It takes you out of the
it's not real enough.
And so for
reality's gone.
Now it's a 2. Like for me though, I don't think I recognize those flaws, which is like, and I put them in my ratings, but it doesn't take me out of it. Here's why I gave it a 4-. I thought it was visually gorgeous. Like
visually, beautiful.
I just watched Blue Beetle. I just watched Blue Beetle. Ahsoka TV show fucking kills Blue Beetle when it comes to the special effects. Like it's just gorgeous. The lore building is intriguing. Like the idea of like the lore that they're talking about.
Fantastic. I will say it. That's good. Those are good.
The only downside of Thrawn is maybe how he looks. But like the pros of like Lars Mikkelsen being the actor,
what Thrawn can bring is awesome.
Thrawn is amazing.
But we already knew Thrawn was coming.
Yeah, but Thrawn is amazing though. He's an amazing villain. He's a fresh villain.
He is an amazing live action villain. But we already knew that was coming.
And the fact that he's with the Great Mothers, and we get to see that
this is where my struggle comes. We already knew he was coming.
We saw all this. We didn't know about the Great Mothers though.
We didn't know about the Great Mothers, but when we see Thrawn coming, and then this is the attitude you're going to bring him back in.
Baylan Skoll's also amazing.
You're fired. Baylan also amazing, but also he's gone.
The overall story was great to good, like the war building, everything. There were just bits. There's a lot of flaws in it.
No. The story was horrible.
Oh, I think the story was great.
It was great until the last episode. And then they just you effed up your own story, dude. How's that even happen? Like what the fudge?
However, you got to think about the messed up parts. There is room to explain it further.
There's room. That's where you go for more of like the villainous tone at the end rather than your heroic. Everyone's at peace.
So this is what I wrote. Great direction overall. I like the direction. I'm excited about like Star Wars. However, I have a hard time trusting Disney right now.
Yep.
Overall. And that's where I think overall this is where I'm disappointed with Ahsoka. Because like on its own merit, I give it a 4-. But like my trust in Star Wars is still shaky, and the show doesn't quite like put my trust back up there.
The show killed it.
The show didn't kill it.
Murdered it.
Maybe killed it for you.
Yep.
I do like Dave Filoni as a storyteller overall. I think he just brings interesting stories. I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's like...
I think Dave Filoni is really, really good at telling the story. Someone at Disney at some point needs to write an ending that works.
Well, here's the thing about Ahsoka. We were expecting a one-off. We don't know what's happening now, right? So...
Yeah, we definitely don't know what's happening now because it can't be real.
I'm a little... Okay, actually, let's go through season thoughts, a little more thoughts that I have, and then we'll get into future thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
So, where does this rank among the TV shows for you? Star Wars TV shows.
They kind of did the kicker with the Mandalorian at the end there, too. For Star Wars TV shows... I think they did a decent job. Boba Fett, Mandalorian at the beginning, Mandalorian season 3, meh. I'd probably put just above Obi-Wan.
Okay, we're actually really similar. So Andor is number 1 for me.
Andor, yep.
Then I have Rebels, and a lot of people would probably hate the fact that I have Rebels above Clone Wars, but I like Rebels, like just the continuous story, whereas Clone Wars is more like up and down.
Yeah,
arcs.
yeah.
Some of the arcs from Clone Wars, amazing. But there was a lot of filler for Clone Wars. That's why it's 3 for me.
Kid fillers.
Mandalorian is 4.
Mm-hmm.
and Ahsoka's right there with it at 5. Like, I think those two are hand in hand at this point. I think they're great to good. They're both 4- shows.
Yep.
Mando was just great.
Mandalorian could.
Season 3.
I think Mandalorian. Sucked. If there's season 3 wasn't too bad. The season 3 they had so many directions they could have went, and again they didn't end it.
Yeah.
Well, they just kind of threw a lot of the stuff away in the trash, and that's why I put Ahsoka below it, because Ahsoka was a really, really, really. It was a fantastic show. Could have been phenomenal. And then, Game of Thrones did.
I wouldn't say that Game of
Thrones... Worse than Game of Thrones, for you ask me.
I wouldn't say worse than Game of Thrones, but the fact that like they have a lot of time and a lot of like room to kind of make this more forgettable. But as like an ending point, it's like, oof. This is where you end it? Like, we didn't know if we're getting more Ahsoka. So where is this going? We'll talk about it, though. Do we want more Dave Filoni?
I think Dave Filoni needs a partner.
He does.
I think more partners in it, but I think Dave Filoni overall, I think it'd be just fine.
Yeah,
we got to have some people critically review the story a little bit better on each one.
If we can get somebody who just like, hey, let's write better endings, or like let's think critically of like how we're gonna end this. We don't have a continuous story. Let's wrap season 1 up a little bit differently, where it's not like open ended to all these, because we don't know. We like our faith in Disney right now is at an all-time low.
Yep.
At least when it comes to Star Wars and Marvel, like it's at an all-time low. Like that's just being realistic.
Yeah, it is.
They can turn it around. Yeah, I believe that that's a possibility, but it's not the trend right now. It's going down. So another question for you. Should this show really be called Ahsoka, or should it be really Rebel Season 5?
It's more like, I mean, the whole show wasn't even really about Ahsoka, really. It was more about Sabine's journey.
Yeah.
Even before Ahsoka.
I mean, Ahsoka has her arc.
She has her arc in it, but like the show was definitely not an Ahsoka show. It definitely, she barely even took the forefront until the very end. She took a little bit of it.
So does Ahsoka, the character, make sense as a complete story?
No.
I feel like the one arc of her like letting go of her trauma was there, but I feel like that could have been way better done.
Yeah, I feel like there should be more to it than that, more detail behind it yet.
It was very vague, and that was kind of like, that was her arc, that was it. And it wasn't like highlighted enough.
Yeah, definitely wasn't highlighted enough. It wasn't really showing her struggles or come afterwards, how she's coming out of that trauma, how she can teach and train,
and
how she's going to live on her life. Like, they just left her kind of in the background for most of the show.
Yeah, and I kind of hate that they're like, this is not an Ahsoka show. I don't know what the title should have been, and I think Ahsoka should have been the main character. It's just, it's not an Ahsoka show. There was like one episode that was Ahsoka, like the Ahsoka episode.
Yeah.
And that was episode 5. And Ahsoka's always great. I don't know if she's a great main character, like her story alone. She's more great with a bunch of different main characters. She's great in a group.
Yep.
And I say that knowing that like there's a couple, like I think she might be able to have a movie on her own, but I don't know if she's compelling enough to have a TV series.
Yeah.
At least like for her journey, her character.
I mean, they put so many other characters with her is kind of weird. That's why I was like, it was Rebels Season 5, if you want to call anything.
Some more questions. What is Thrawn loading? Because he's like loading up his Chimera ship, right? And he brought it to Dathomir. What is he loading?
Good question.
I believe it's Dathomir army, like warriors.
I believe it'd be warriors or some Empire remnants of something or another.
Yeah, or maybe like his dead troopers, or
you'd hope so.
Something. It's interesting though. All right, what are your thoughts on the characters overall?
Characters overall. So, which one are we gonna start with? Ahsoka, I think underwhelming for her story and her arc.
I agree.
I was expecting a little bit more from that.
I agree, but like slightly underwhelming. Like it's slightly disappointing. Like I'm like, I for the most part enjoyed her story, but I'm like it could have been a lot more heavily focused on, and I think it would have been a better show if they would have done it.
And they focused on Sabine and the random Jedi. Anybody can be a Jedi, and she's a massive Jedi.
I feel like Sabine's like the only actress I don't really care for. In the
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that.
Mary Winstead, wait, Elizabeth Mary Winstead? What's the actress name that plays Hera?
I don't know.
She's I like her as an actress, and I think overall I like her take on Hera. I actually like Rosario.
I think Hera did good.
Dawson's take on Ahsoka's good. Not the first time we've seen her though. I like Ezra's character.
I'm split on Ezra.
I think overall I'm liking it.
I think overall it's a decent character.
I like his portrayal. Thrawn portrayal is amazing.
Thrawn's great.
Morgan Elsbeth and Balin Skull, Shin Hati. Like I think they're all great for like what we.
Shin don't know anything about her.
I'm intrigued by her.
She's yeah.
But I don't like. I'm intrigued by her. I don't know more. I want to know more. Like, don't you want to know more about Shin?
Not really. She didn't come off to me. I was like, oh, hi, Aubrey Plaza. Good to meet you.
She does. She seems like a Scarlett Johansson like clone.
Sure.
Like mixed with somebody else.
Very interesting. I guess we could say that.
Yeah. But Sabine's like the only one that I'm just like, I'm not sold on her character. I just wasn't sold. It didn't feel like Sabine that I knew.
Yeah, Sabine felt like a totally different character that just misplaced, misused.
It's like the dull version of Sabine.
Yep.
And I don't know if I think it's the acting for me. And some of the writing too. I think the writing could have been better on explaining like why Sabine is even like close to the Force, or like why Ahsoka's seen that potential in her. I think that's an interesting story. Sabine becoming a Force user, interesting, but it has to be earned.
Yeah,
and I think the biggest problem was it wasn't earned.
Yeah, she just got it for being a character.
Yeah,
it just stresses me out. Don't like it.
But also Sabine is just great. Like she's great without being a Force user, and we already have a Mandalorian Force user in Grogu.
I didn't get what they were going for with there.
I don't know either. That being said, there is a greater story at play.
Yeah.
And that needs to be like recognized, that there is a greater story being at play, and we just don't trust Disney, which is why I think like we're a little bit more disappointed on this ending.
There's a greater story at play.
So there's time to like explain all this out.
Yeah, there's time.
Do you think 8 episodes was enough? Because I don't think it was.
Nope.
I feel like it should have been at least 10.
Yeah, it should be 10, 12. I was thinking 12.
I think 10. Because like,
well, the thing is, some of the episodes are 6 minutes. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah, and I don't mind if it's a shorter episode. I don't mind if like they shorten episodes. I don't think there needs to be like a specific episode count, like number.
Yeah.
But I think 10 episodes is kind of just a good amount.
Got to tell us the story.
8's not bad. 8's a good amount too. But I think this story, there was so much
needed
more.
10.
I think it needed 10. And I hate how Disney's like, we're going to do 6, we're going to do 8. It's like, just give us a good amount.
Give us a good story that's well thought out all the way through at every level.
Yeah.
Like, what's the critical thinking when you're putting it together?
Dave
like,
Filoni was close. There's a larger story. We don't see the full picture. I think it just ended in a bad spot.
Yep.
All right. Who's the coolest character that we were introduced?
The coolest character we were introduced?
Coolest character. Like the best character.
I mean, Thrawn, obviously.
Thrawn. I agree. Who else?
Under question. I like the grandmothers.
Balin is up there.
Balin. Oh, yeah, Balin.
Balin's probably the coolest.
Blank. Balin, definitely. Introduced this new character. I don't know who this guy is. He's so mysterious, and I love him.
All right.
I need more Balin. That's what I'm excited
coolest
for.
Lore explored.
Lore.
Like the greatest lore tidbit that you're just like, ooh, I want to know more. I'm interested.
The historical Jedi.
Historical Jedi?
Yep. The power that comes from that place. The Balin story, really.
Yeah.
His whole mission and everything is where I find the coolest lore build.
I want to know the Mortis gods and like why what's this planet called again that they're in? I said it like 3 or 4 times already, but I can't think of like.
You're on the spot. It's hard to think of stuff right now.
Peridia.
Yeah.
I want to know like this new
planet.
galaxy, this planet, and their whole like. What do they have to do with the Force?
What's that have to do with anything? Yeah.
Yeah, like why is it a different galaxy? Is there a connection here? Like I'm excited for that lore. I'm excited for the fact that they brought in a new galaxy because that's new. It's fresh. It's interesting. It's like you're bringing in a whole
what can happen
section that like.
Yep.
It hasn't been written before. It's a new gateway to different stories, and it's very exciting because it just opens up
the world.
Yeah,
definitely
opens up a whole galaxy, literally. All right, I just want to point out too, Moriah sightings. So Ahsoka has in a Clone Wars, the sister, the daughter. There's the brother, the sister, the father, the Mortis gods, right?
Yep.
And the daughter she gave up her essence and she became an owl to protect Ahsoka. And throughout Clone Wars, throughout Rebels, throughout this show, you see an owl. And there was an owl sighting in this last episode. Which ties into the Mortis gods. Which is, to me, just interesting. Alright. Future thoughts, what's next? And my first question for what's next, because I have 2 what's next.
First thoughts.
Hold on. I have 2 thoughts of what's next. 2 questions. So the first one is, what's next for Star Wars? As in, like, what's the next show that brings the story further?
The next show that brings the story further from where they're at coming together.
You think it's Ahsoka season 2? Is it Mandalorian season 4? Is it Boba Fett season 2? Is it another series? Is it a new movie? What's next?
It's going to be Mandalorian. Makes sense. The amount of Mandalorian things they mentioned with Moff Gideon and all that. They kind of hinted at it pretty hard. But Boba Fett makes sense too.
Boba Fett, I think you can make it make sense.
But Mandalorian makes the most.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense.
Jedi, the Mandalorian Jedi coming in.
So Ahsoka season 2 would also just naturally make sense.
Yep.
A New Republic series that they were initially planning makes sense because it shows the ineptitude of the New Republic and how they react to the thought of Thrawn being in the galaxy.
Or maybe a show called Thrawn. Villain's perspective.
Heir to their empire, based on the old books. What's next with the series, or what's next with the story?
What's next with the story? Well, obviously, I think you're going to have some team-ups of these teams that they're building out. The Boba Fett's, the Freedom Fighters,
New
whatever.
Republic,
New Republic.
Mandalorians.
Mandalorian.
The Mandalore Army.
Yeah.
Led by Bo-Katan.
Yep, Bo-Katan even could be her own show.
We are getting an Avengers-type team-up film.
Yep.
Directed and written by Dave Filoni, with Thrawn as the villain.
Yeah, so I'm assuming they're going to get some tie-ins with everybody and everyone's going to come together. I mean, it's already crossed through Mandalorian, so you're getting some team-up of some sort. That's how they all come together.
Does Thrawn start another war? I mean, you'd think so, right?
You would think so, but why wasn't that mentioned in the new trilogy?
Yeah. I don't know. The new trilogy just doesn't help any of the story.
New trilogy just doesn't make any sense. They're just going to write it off or what?
No, I think what they're doing with Mandalorian and stuff, they're trying to tie the bridge. And Dave Filoni is really good at doing that because he did that with the Clone Wars. The prequels, he tied in all the different narratives that were left hanging. So he's probably going to do the same thing with the new
Has to,
trilogy.
right?
You have to. They're not going to blow it up unless they want to do New World, like the world between worlds, and then make its own timeline. That is a potential thing you could do, but I don't think
they're going to do that. They're going to have the balls. You should.
I don't think they should. It would be more exciting. What's Skull, what are they going to do with Balin's Skull now?
I don't know. You got to find somebody to replace him. They can't leave that story like that.
Ray Stevenson's so fucking good in that role. He was so amazing.
He was too good in that role.
I don't even want to see anyone else. It hurts thinking of someone else in that role because if they're not anywhere close to
he came in and he built a character. I was like, this guy.
I feel like he has to.
And you're like, okay.
I feel like they have to write it in a way where like he found what he was looking for and died looking for it that way, and Shin then takes on that responsibility.
Yeah, that's how I think they have to write it in. Shin's going to be the one to do it.
And Shin maybe she starts learning more and becomes the new great Jedi. And I don't think that like was the purpose of her character, but I think that's
where we're going to have to push her to. Yep. Yeah,
I
agree.
Balin Skull's story is way too good to drop.
Yeah, his story is that's what I'm excited for.
Shin's story we kind of
if it continues, because I may just Darksaber it too.
How does Ahsoka and Sabine get back? They're getting back like immediately. We all know this.
Space battles.
Yeah, I wish they would just lead off for like the idea of like, you know what, maybe the Space Wolves will get like the Purgle will get us back. Because then you can have a happier ending, right? You could have that
makes sense.
Tone.
Or like, hey, or had the Space Whales come in the sky again or something like that. Yeah. Show the Space Whales, which can give them their happy tone they had at the end.
Or like Sabine just being like, you know, down and out, and her just being like, I'm sad. Like, we're here. Now what?
Yep.
She's panicking. And Ahsoka's just like calmly like, I think I know a way back. And then that's how you end it. Because I think we all know they're getting back through Space Whales.
Yeah, it could have ended like, yeah, I think I know a way back, which would have made sense.
But no, they just end. And
like almost like they're setting off their new trek of a life out here with the Turtles.
Right, and it's like that.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
They have a moment of it. Or maybe season 2 is them dealing with Peridia politics. Like, maybe it's them with Peridia. And I wouldn't hate that either, but they're setting up this whole, like, galactic war.
Yeah.
So, like, them being in different galaxies, just, like, it hurts. As an audience member, it's just, like, I don't like this. Like, they should be where the action is. I don't mind
the different galaxy, but I think, yeah, it should have ended, like,
well, if
I know a way back home.
It wasn't, like, an immediate war right away, and it was just them exploring. And they're like, hey, we don't have a way back, but we're here. We're an exposed planet. Like,
well, yeah, you know something dangerous happened on the other side. You're like, well, we need to fix that, and they need to find a way back. Like, it could have easily been said. But instead, they ended with a very, very moot tone. That's what exactly makes me go, huh?
All right, so the story's happening. Who's getting involved? Everybody?
Everybody, obviously.
Is Luke Skywalker getting involved? He fucking should.
He should.
And this is where we get talked to the whole... These characters need to be recasted, right?
Yep.
Like, you already have Han Solo recasted. Leia, like, you have Carrie Fisher's daughter, who would be a great in the role. I don't know, like, her acting skills, but, like, just have her make an appearance.
Yeah, it doesn't have to do much.
Like, I would say, use AI, use it well to, like, as long as you have, like...
render some.
Yeah, just, like, have her voice characters in a certain way.
Yeah, agreed.
And Luke Skywalker needs to be... Like, I don't mind the CGI double, because they actually did a really good job in Boba Fett. I think so. And I think Sebastian Stan's too old, but they really need to recast Luke Skywalker, because he just needs to be involved. He's a hero. Let him be a hero in these, like, TV shows. And then he can, like, work his way to being a crabby old man.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, make it make sense that he's just a crabby old man and went up to his own little island.
Mando has to be involved, right?
Mando, for sure. Grogu has to have a bigger story.
Grogu kills Thrawn, right?
Yeah, that's got to be the guy.
He has to be the hero at the end of the day, right?
And at the end of the day, it's got to be Grogu.
Him or Ahsoka, at least.
Yeah, for sure. It's got to be Grogu.
All right. Will Thrawn will Merrick ever be explained? Or is that just a storyline that's dropped dead?
That's a story that's dropped dead. I don't know why people are on that little weirdness.
Here's a little tidbit for you. So Merrick had green smoke when he died, right? The green smoke. The Night Troopers did not. Meaning that it was a different type of spell. You know who had green smoke when they died? Savage Opress. Darth Maul's brother.
Yeah, I think you're reading too much. Character's gone.
I'm not saying Savage Opress is Merrick. I'm just saying, like, I think it's the same magic.
Yeah.
I think there's something set up here. It's too intentional. But I hate that they didn't, like, talk about it in this season. Now it's just, like, it's just a thing.
Yeah, maybe not.
They'll at least talk about it.
It depends. Maybe they'll talk about it.
All right. I have a little surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
Ahsoka character draft.
Ahsoka character draft.
Yeah, for season 1.
Oh, hold on. I know my first pick. Let me pull up.
All right. Who you want first pick?
Yeah.
I feel like I already know who you're gonna pick.
You do?
I feel like I know.
Is it Balin?
That wouldn't be my guess.
That wasn't your guess?
No.
Oh, that's what I'm going with, though. Balin.
You want Balin first?
Sure do. Screw Thrawn.
All right, I'm taking Thrawn then.
Oh, who do I want next?
This is just coolest characters.
Coolest characters. So I'm building a team, right, to win?
It's just a draft. Pretend like it's a team.
Anakin Skywalker.
Really, Anakin? He's not even on my board. Okay, Anakin.
Well, you said I got to build a team, right?
Well, it's not like a team of any. Like it's more of just coolest characters.
Oh, it's coolest characters. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I wouldn't really put him as the coolest characters. Okay, Balin was definitely the coolest.
I took Thrawn.
You took Thrawn already. If you took, I'm gonna have to say Ahsoka.
Oh yeah, you took my number 3.
Yep.
I'll take Ezra then.
Ezra. Do the grandmothers or Morgan Elizabeth count as one, or how's that work?
The Great Mothers would count as 1.
Great mothers.
You got Great Mothers?
Yep. They're cool characters.
I wrote Night Sisters, and I hate that I made that mistake because I couldn't determine who they were.
Was that your next pick?
No.
Oh.
My next pick's Shin.
Shin.
I like her character. I just do. I don't know why. I'm just intrigued by her. I want to know more. I want to know her backstory. She's like, they say in the show, she's essentially Ezra, but without a personality. And she is like Ezra. I want to know more about her backstory.
Hugh Yang.
Hugh Yang.
Yep.
I didn't write him either. It's not on my draft board. Hugh Yang's good though. I like it.
There's one I have, but I guess got to find it.
Or I'm gonna go Morgan Elsbeth.
Hera.
Oh, Hera's my next one after that. I will do Chopper.
Oh, I forgot about Chopper. Hold on, I'm looking up for the one I'm looking for.
One, two, three, four. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Captain Carson.
Oh yeah, Carson. All right. I didn't write Carson either, but he was on. I didn't write him down because I only imagine us doing 5. My next one was Sabine. After that,
Nah, she's last.
she's last.
Not getting picked. I guess we did do 5. Is that what we did? I don't know
Yeah,
how
we
much
did
I
5.
Yeah, okay.
But I would do next on my list was Sabine, Jason Sedula, General Iraq. We didn't talk about him.
Yeah.
He didn't have much to him, but I'm intrigued by his helmet. The naughty dude, I forget his name. The one that is close with Ezra.
Oh, yeah.
He's on there. Merrick is on there, and Anakin.
Merrick, yeah, Anakin. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I'm okay with my team. I got Balin.
Balin's. I think Thrawn's number 1 for me, but Balin's definitely a solid 2.
Got Balin and Ahsoka.
Ahsoka's great.
Clutch.
I'll take Ezra.
Thrawn is good. I thought about Thrawn, but I was like, nah, Balin. Balin's too good of a character. That's why his arcs.
Balin's the standout. He's the one character I just I thought he was gonna be cool. I didn't think he was gonna be that fucking cool.
Exactly.
And
whatever he becomes.
Such a shame. Such a shame when actors pass away, especially now because he passed away before this whole show came up.
Now you realize
his character's amazing. I didn't think his character was going to be that great.
Yeah, you heard he passed away and he's Ahsoka, and you're like, oh, okay.
I thought he was going to be good.
Then you see his character and you're like,
What'd you say?
oh.
If you had to rate a character, 5? He's a 5 character, right?
Yep.
Thrawn, 5?
5.
Yeah. Ahsoka,
3+.
yeah, I want to give it a 4, but
3. 3+. Yep.
I think she has a lot of potential. I think she could have been a 5.
Could have been but go with it.
Sabine's a 2.
Yeah, 2.
Ezra to me is a
2+.
I was gonna say 3-. I think
Okay.
he's good. I think he's there. I think he has potential, but there just wasn't focus on him. Morgan Elsbeth, I actually really like her.
4.
I think her character development is amazing.
Yeah, I'd say 4.
Like, what is her motivations to essentially resurrect her culture, her Dathomir culture, right?
Yep. She's
not a bad guy. Thrawn's not even a bad guy. Like, these aren't like evil people. They're just, they have plans that don't
necessarily align with
the
rest of the world.
protagonist.
Yep.
Honest question. Maybe we'll end with this question because we're hitting our time limit. Would you rather have Thrawn or the New Republic rule?
Thrawn.
I honestly kind of cheering on Thrawn here. And I think he's going to use evil methods to get what he needs eventually. And I think like his rule would
turn. But from what I see, I'd rather have a Thrawn leadership than the current.
Yeah, the New Republic is so inept. It's like disappointing. It's almost like saddening watching the original trilogy, knowing that like
that's what it became.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad, but like, how else do you explain the sequel trilogy?
Exactly.
You can't unless you explain it as them being a government that just sucks.
Yeah,
it's incompetent. It's neglectful, but also the Empire puts. I'm pretty sure they put in a bunch of like spies that like talk down those conspiracies. Honestly, if they did like a political show, I would be down for it.
I'd be cool with that.
If it was like a done right political show,
yeah.
Sign me up. I want to see the Empire like maneuvering.
Yeah, the moves they make would be perfect.
All right. Any more lasting thoughts before we wrap this up?
No lasting thoughts, y'all. It was a pleasure. I loved it. That's all I really had. That was my lasting thought.
Yeah. All right. We're out. Thank you for joining us.
Pika Pika Mario, yo.
Thank you for joining us for Ahsoka season 1. I'm assuming there's going to be more seasons. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think they've were able
no officials, but
yeah. I assume it's coming back. It's coming back in some form. We're here for it. Star Wars Bros. All right, we're out. This is Don't Involve Me. This is Jake. This is Mario, a.k.a.
Don Johnson.
All right, thank you guys, and we're done.
We out.